I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
And by the way, you know, when you're telling these little stories, here's a good idea. Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
Hi, I'm Drew Berkowitz from Wochit, and I'm here to tell you about video. Oddly, I have 30 minutes to tell you why you should keep your videos to under 1 minute of time. And if you've read the YouTube playbook, you know that you have about 5 or 10 seconds to capture a user's attention. And if you heard Amy yesterday, it's down to 3 seconds. So let's get right to the point. Why video?
2 out of 3 Americans watch at least one
video online every day. Search engines and video sites like YouTube, Dailymotion, and Vimeo aren't the only place where video is winning. Websites with embedded video are 3 times more likely to get inbound links from blogs and social networks like Facebook or Twitter. In addition, time spent on a website is increased by 2 to 5 times when it uses video, which is great news because time is the driving force behind conversion. That is, visitors who become buyers.
Visuals get more views than text-based information. Viewers spend 100% more time on pages with visual content. The human brain processes visual information 60,000 times faster than text. Photos, pictures, and video get over 100% more engagement. Visuals increase retention by 42%. Content with visuals and video attract 3 times more inbound links. If you are already convinced about the value of video to improving engagement, raise your hand.
Great. Well, that worked. But if these stats weren't enough to convince you of video, without outing anyone, I did a little bit of my own research. It's not based on any statistics, but I heard people in journalism aren't good at math anyway, so I guess you'll just have to believe me. But while I watched this room yesterday and today, I noticed that most of the time when a speaker was up here with just text on the screen, about 50% of us had their heads down. Which goes to what David was talking about this morning, which is about our attention spans, right? How they've shrunk. But yet when video was introduced, I saw 100% of our heads lift up, and about 90% of the time our eyes stayed on the screen. Again, it's not based on any statistics, but my own observation. I figured most of this room would be interested in video, as most publishers I speak to are. But like I heard yesterday, most companies are slow to move, especially in the news organizations. Nervous about the time and expense it takes, and spend way too many conversations trying to answer the question, what type of video should I create?
As Cassia Baldi from The Atlantic stated, finding the perfect online video is like skipping rocks. You can pick the perfect rock, you can put the perfect spin on it, but at the end of the day, there are conditions out there beyond your control. There's wind, there's ripples, there's waves, and sometimes it goes for miles and it's awesome. And sometimes it sinks to the bottom of the lake.
Obviously what Cassie is saying is that no matter how much planning and creative thought you put into video, you're not always going to get it right. Video creation is not an exact science. You are going to have to create different videos for different platforms to reach different audiences. And your audience will let you know if it's engaging content. As I heard a lot and we talked about, there's a lot of A/B testing that you'll need to do. But don't get hung up on quality. Even the masters get it wrong. Anyone remember Steven Spielberg's 1941 can attest to that. We have different publishers creating all different types of content. We have hard-hitting news or breaking news. We have music news. We have, oh, that didn't come up right, but we have content partners that are creating advertorial and sponsorships. We have different types of content here. Missing one, but actually one that we wanted to show was a title about farting. And it was a very hard-hitting topic with one of our partners actually here in St. Louis. It's probably better I don't show it anyway. But it got 160,000 views on Yahoo alone. So quality is subjective, as we all talk about. And so while there are no, there's not a playbook for creating engaging content and video every time, here are 5 tips that I can share with you that we've learned about content.
Shorter is better. The longer a video drags on, the lower its retention. Your viewers base how much of your video they watch on how long they think it will take them to get the gist of it. Publish video fast. Over a 10-hour period, one of our clients showed 10 to 30,000 more page views by adding video on the page, with the biggest jump in traffic occurring within the first hour. Set your content according to your audience for each platform. Thumbnails are the most important aspect of any video's release, other than the content itself. Seriously, this is because thumbnails, in combination with titles, are often the biggest deciding factor to whether or not a person will click to watch a video. Title: a catchy headline, and as mentioned yesterday, some key words help drive initial views. Here are a few: Kim, Justin, Miley, Snooki, cats.
Okay, well, good. Hopefully that didn't put you to sleep. So right about now, you might be thinking, wow, this is fantastic. Thanks, Drew, for sharing that all about video. Things that we've already heard, things that we already knew. You want us to jump right in and start creating. You told me how to create. You told me some facts about creating. You told me not to waste my time going to see the movie 1941. Fantastic. But we don't have the budget. We don't have the time. We don't have the expertise. We don't have a video team. How are we going to get this accomplished? So before I tell you about how, I told Jim when he asked me, or we talked about me coming on here, maybe I forced myself on you, I'm not sure, about not being a sales pitch. But that's what I feared, having to show my platform, is that's what it's going to turn out to be. But in the conversations that I heard, it was all about figuring out how we're going to engage with this audience. And that's what we were all here, and that's what everyone was talking about. And so what I really realized was that, we are a perfect combination. Everyone in this room is looking to figure out how to engage an audience, and whether that's studying more research involving video, whether that's figuring out the right video to push on Facebook and drive traffic or social media, whether that's time spent on a page with video. I have a platform that we can work together on. So as partners, we can help figure out how to engage better with video. So now I'm going to tell you about Wochit. And hopefully I don't need that paper to tell you about this. Wochit is a content creation platform. We enable storytellers to create videos very quickly. It happens in 2 parts. The first part of the platform is a quick search and discovery of licensed content that we have coming in from partners like the AP, Reuters, Getty, Storyful, AFP, and we keep building this library. So these are licensed assets that are coming in, still images, video images. This one came in at 316. We're pinging their APIs constantly and pulling in, real-time, up-to-date visual images and video that are happening in real time that you can grab. And the second part of the platform is an editing tool that allows someone with no production skills like myself to start creating very quickly. Storyboard, edit, put titles on screen, and then human voiceover. And I'll talk to you a little bit about that in a second. The whole process from start to finish, from story to video, takes about 10 or 15 minutes. And you have a fully white labeled video that you can distribute and monetize, because I know that's key, across the digital landscape, social, and mobile. So I'm going to take you through a little bit of that. And I'll start with that the platform itself lives in the cloud. So I heard a lot about collaboration. I heard a lot about getting users involved and engaged with your stories. And because it lives in the cloud, the whole process, and I break it down into 3 steps, can be done by 3 different people living anywhere around the world with the same speed. So we have partners in Germany that Focus doing it in German, and Times of India doing it in Hindi, and Warner Music doing it both in English and Spanish. And we'll break it down into 3 parts, and this is where the partnership comes in. One is the story. The story is the basis for the video, right? It really makes up the quality, I guess, if you will, right, of what the video is going to stand for. And so that's where your expertise comes in. The journalists, the platforms, the publishers, the reporters, who's creating the content. And so with our publisher partners, we're able to pull in an RSS feed of their stories. They'll be able to go in, pick the story that they want, pull up the story, and all the visual assets pertaining to the story are going to be right there below to start working on building a video. You have the chance to edit the story. And this is where, again, as we partner together, we can do some quick A/B testing. We can change the title. We can easily change the thumbnail. We can change the entire voiceover script. And you start to go in and pick visually the assets that you want to represent your final video. So I can go in and I can pick a video part.
In Dusseldorf, Germany,
I can scrub through it. I can pick my start time.
Prosecutor
underwent psychotherapy.
I pick my end time. Obviously, I'm doing this very quickly. And you can see it starts to build the content that we want to represent our final video. I can go down and pick still images. Just grab something. I can put text on the screen. And all of this is, as Jim will attest, it's come a long way. Part of the process of building an engine like this is to try and make it accessible and easy to use for anybody. At the same time, give enough bells and whistles and creativity to make it quality and get it as close to what a lot of video editors and video journalists are used to in terms of Final Cut Pro and Premiere. We're not trying to be those guys because that takes a little bit more education and time commitment to figure out. This is all about the digital world and speed, but also still bringing in those quality and creative elements. So text on screen. As I mentioned, thumbnails are obviously important in the digital world, so we created easy steps to change your thumbnails. The length of the script is based on the voiceover text. So let me talk about that a little bit. Our voiceover is all done by humans. We have voiceover people on staff around the US, so English speaking right now, and we're adding Spanish. Our other partners, like the ones I mentioned in Germany or in India, they do it themselves. So they have their own staff that are doing their own language. But in our publisher world, they can tap into our voiceover talent. And that's another key component that a lot of publishers don't have on staff, obviously, as a voiceover talent. And it's the same speed. They'll just shoot it off and the person will read it. I always make the same joke, which is the Ron Burgundy moment. So when you're writing your script, if you're sending it off, they're going to read whatever you write. So you got to be careful on that. But it allows you to put, call to action, to read more. Go to usatoday.com. An audio call to action has shown significant value in terms of driving traffic more than text on screen or links in an article page. It gives you the ability to pull in maps and infographics that we bake in, but also Twitter feeds, Facebook, Instagram, so you can pull in anything in public domain. We even give the ability to pull in the article page itself. So if you want to highlight and seed out and syndicate, you can have the article in the actual video itself. Again, another driving factor in terms of pushing audience back to your site. The My Gallery allows journalists and reporters and publishers to upload your own assets as well. So this is great for the local reporter that's taking a photo of something that's happening, here in Colombia. When the AP and Reuters are not going to get there fast enough, you'll be able to upload your own imagery as well. And again, another tool for collaboration. If you want to engage your audience, your users, into participating in the creation of video, they can submit photos and videos, and obviously when you select it, you can give them attribution, and you can give them credit in the final video as well. I can't get out of this. Not sure what happened there. Let's go back. And then the My Media bucket, or the More Media bucket, I should say, again, allows you to pick out assets from our entire content source library. So in case you didn't get something back or you want to change the story, you can just put in a search term, and just like any other search, it'll pull up all the assets that we have related to the search, and you can add to the story. What's really great about this part is in terms of breaking news. So if the whole process from start to finish takes about 10 or 15 minutes, but after you've published, you have a breaking update, instead of going back to the beginning and starting the whole process again, you can take it one step back and within a minute talk about the update and breaking news story that's happening. It's just swapping in and out images. So we'll go through this real quick. Add some stuff here. Then you have the ability to put the images and video in order and the pacing of how you want it to be read, or how you want your video to be seen, I guess. Just drag and drop images onto the timeline. And the sound bites will signify to the voiceover talent when they should break the script in two. Of course, I'll get it eventually. Let's pin this down real quick. Now we'll send it off. Sorry, that's this one. Next step goes over to the voiceover talent. And I'm going to ask Jim to come up here because he's got the voice for this. We could just show a little bit of this. We could just read right into this. We have two ways of pushing out audio. If you have better equipment outside, you can upload a WAV or an MP3 file, or like myself, who's an amateur, will just read right into the audio device.
Are you ready? The co-pilot of the Germanwings jetliner that crashed in the French Alps. Is that what you wanted me to do?
Let's hear it.
Was that my broadcast voice?
How was it?
The co-pilot of the Germanwings jetliner that crashed in the French Alps.
Maybe.
Sorry. Broadcast failed.
On Tuesday, had been treated for suicidal tendencies before receiving his pilot's license. Let's just keep going. There's more, but we'll want to finish?
Andreas Lubitz. The co-pilot, Andreas Lubitz, has been treated by psychotherapists over a long period of time, the prosecutor's office said, without providing specific dates. In follow-up visits to doctors since that time, the prosecutor said no signs of suicidal tendencies or aggression towards others were documented.
I'm not even going to listen to it. I'm sure it's perfect. I'm going to save it. Go to the approval stage. And now, obviously, we didn't spend a lot of time picking out the pieces. So, as you start to get more familiar with the platform, and again, the idea of the platform was to allow any journalist, any storyteller, any creator, any outside contributor to create videos based on your stories and your context. The video review stage allows someone in your office, a managing editor, a video editor, the actual writer, to then review and make sure that everything aligns to what their vision is. But this expands your news team, expands your video creation, expands the ability to scale video very quickly and very efficiently by pulling in all types of people that have apparently no video skills.
Several years ago, the co-pilot underwent psychotherapy for suicidal tendencies during a longer period of time before he received his pilot's license. After that, and until the end, further doctor's visits led to sick notes without suicidal tendencies or aggression mentioned in them. That was it.
The co-pilot of the Germanwings jetliner that crashed in the French Alps.
German investigators now say that Lubitz.
So you can see how you can easily build a quick video that you can publish, and if you decided this image did not belong, you can swap it out with anything down below. Let's just grab something really quick. Push this up here. So you've just changed your video. You would produce it, and what we've done with our publisher partners is create overlays and graphics.
According to German prosecutors, the co-pilot blamed for deliberately crashing a Germanwings plane hid an illness from his employers. After searching the home of Andreas Lubitz, police reportedly found a torn-up doctor's note. The note allegedly indicated Lubitz had an illness that required medical treatment and a leave from work, including the day of the crash. Lufthansa, Germanwings' parent company, previously said the pilot was 100% fit to fly, but some German media outlets report he may have suffered from depression. The co-pilot is accused of deliberately crashing the Germanwings plane into the French Alps, killing everyone on board. Neighbors who saw police also raid the home of Lubitz's parents say they are still trying to understand what happened. Lubitz has a connection to the U.S. in the form of Lufthansa's flight school in Phoenix. The German tabloid Bild reported that his training there was interrupted for mental health reasons. Lufthansa's CEO admitted that the co-pilot's training had been interrupted in the past, but would not elaborate. Back home in Germany, Lubitz was a member of a local gliding club. The club chairman explains how, by all accounts, he seemed to be a normal guy.
Stop that before it keeps going. So you can see that some of our publisher partners are embedding video on top of their page, helps drive, in terms of discovery, SEO. A lot of our publisher partners, though, are also doing publishing straight to Facebook. Some are publishing right to YouTube, like Warner Music. I won't play this whole thing. As I mentioned, they're creating content in Miami. They're sending it to their team in Mexico to do the Spanish language, and it comes back to them to publish in the Miami office, all within 10 or 15 minutes. We then help our publisher partners, as we start to get into this, distribute further. So we have partnerships with AOL, Yahoo, NDN, and a few other syndicators to help publisher partners seed out their videos that they create with Wochit. Again, in terms of what they're trying to accomplish, whether they're trying to drive traffic back to their homepage, whether they're just trying to monetize and build awareness. Everyone's goals are a little bit different. The ability to figure out which is going to work in traditional way of creating with video is not possible. With the platform that we're providing, we're able to partner up and work with you on the best way to figure out what will achieve your video goals and your video strategy. And I think that's about all I've got. But I'm open for questions.
So one of the reasons that I wanted to have Drew come in is just that this idea of being able to create video quickly, especially in non-video-centric newsrooms where we've established sort of over the last couple days, that'd be a nice thing to have as part of the tapestry of coverage that you have. This is an end-to-end engine. So they've negotiated all the rights with the Associated Press and with all of the news outlets on the front end. They have, on the back end, the distribution figured out, especially to the Five-Mins of the world, the Brightcoves, that kind of thing. And then they have this engine in the middle that allows you to create the video with a drag and drop sort of ease that says, here are the assets that we have. You can drag them, you can drop them in, you can then get your text, you can modify it to the length that you want. We've talked about 3 seconds and 30 seconds and that kind of thing. something, and then you can publish. And so you see that they have partnerships now and newsrooms that are coming on board like USA Today who are interested in just such a thing. And I think that's fascinating in the world of engagement, where we're all being stretched thin with our resources in terms of we want to focus on the things that we do well, our good journalism, but we also recognize that there are other things that the audience might be interested in. So
I forgot one part of my platform.
Okay.
God, if anyone's listening at home, they're going to kill me. Wochit on its own produces over 200 videos a day on breaking topical and trending news. That's what you're seeing here. So we have a team of creators and obviously voiceover talent, and we are pulling in RSS feeds and watching trends that are happening to create these videos. And we allow, again, our publisher partners to, one, take the platform to create custom content based off of their stories, which is extremely valuable. But at the same time, to build that scale, they can pull the content that we're creating as well. So they can completely build out a video and escalate their video quickly by just grabbing the videos that we've already put together. So that's part of the package.
Hey, this is great. I had a question. I'm sorry if I missed this. Did you talk about how you're licensing the video, and where you're pulling it in from, and then how, broad is the video? Is it really focused on trending issues, or are you getting stuff from the AFP or whatever that are more international that maybe are missed in more trending news coverage?
So all the license partners that we have, which are here, we have full license rights to pass on to our partners for global redistribution. And we're getting full access to their libraries in terms of the video content and the photos that they pull in as well. And as I mentioned, you can see, it runs the gamut of all different types of content that they're pulling in. And we're starting to build out more partnerships like a Storyful, which are a little bit more UGC in nature, but that are verified, obviously, so that our partners can feel confident that they can use it. And of course, that's a big part, right? So, there's a little bit of license in terms of the text and fair use and what you're going to cover, but in terms of the visual images, we're covered off on all the licenses. No, you write the text. Yep, the story is yours. Believe me, I'm not going to write your stories. The platform is for you. The platform is we come in, we give you the login, we help train you, we work with you, you'll create the story, we'll help you create the visuals and put the packaging together. And what I think the next step should be is to do the types of A/B testing that we've been talking about, right? Take the same article, create 2 different types of video, create 2 different types of headlines, thumbnails, length of content, and let's push it out and let's study it together. And eventually we'll figure out what the best the best appetite with your audience is going to be across these different platforms, and you'll get into a rhythm, and then hopefully I can let you fly off on your own and do this.
Drew, go back to your last comment on custom publishing or whatever. How would a local publisher, say in Redwood, Minnesota or Santa Ana, California, use their own assets to create this?
So that's a great point because, again, solving for the local asset problem, is pretty complicated, and we're trying to make partnerships as best we can for that local to ingest more local content. But we have the gallery part. So again, any local provider or any individual creator can upload their own assets, and it's proprietary to them. So anything that I upload and you see in my gallery, and for some reason I don't know why this keeps getting stuck. But anything that you see in my gallery, no one else would be able to see. So, USA Today wouldn't have access to whatever you upload or in the local paper here. And then you can, every story that you create, you'll be able to access your gallery. So you can mix in your images and video with the licensed content that we have to create a more maybe compelling story, but at least a bigger story.
Is Wochit only available to post from a desktop, and if I'm looking at your website correctly, a Google browser? You can't post from the field or from a phone or a tablet? Not yet, but it's supposed to be today, but probably how technology goes. In the next month, we'll have a mobile app. The mobile app will be able to ingest the licensed content that we have. It won't be as robust as an editing tool, of course,
But for the local reporters, it's going to be key to quickly snap and go and report from the field, put yourself on camera, mix in some of the assets that we're bringing in, do some quick tiling, and then be able to push that out as well. And all the videos that we have now, of course, play on all platforms.